Welcome back to Cash and Sass, the podcast where we ditch the shame, we talk real numbers, and we build bold, bankable wealth without sacrificing who we are. I'm your host, Lisa Marie, fractional CFO, wealth mentor, and the Sassy Wealth Queen behind Transcendent Wealth Co. Now, let me ask you something that might feel a little uncomfortable. What if your relationships are costing you money? Not just bad business deals, not just poor partnerships, but the emotional patterns you bring into every decision you make. Today's guest, Chaya Garcia, is a relationship expert who helps people take radical responsibility for their love lives. And we're taking that conversation straight into wealth, boundaries, and business. We're talking about emotional leaks, profit leaks, self-worth, and why the way you choose and tolerate relationships says everything about how you protect your money. This is not a dating episode. This is a wealth conversation. So as I always say, let's get into it. And we're going to immediately start because I don't fiddle around and do anything else. Welcome, Chaya. Thank you for being a guest on my show. Where I really want to start is you said that relationships in private life predict the ability to scale. And I would love it if you could break that down for us.
Yeah. So basically, the way that we hold on to and attract money is truly how we have a relationship with money. But who's having the relationship with money? Us with ourselves. And so the way that we believe that we either deserve or don't deserve money impacts how we price our sales, how we hold on to things, how much risk we're willing to take for our growth, how much fear we have to hold on to our money or not actually spend it. And it also therefore parallels, because it's the same belief systems, into our relationships. So if we don't believe that we're fully lovable and truly deserving of good, we will attract someone who we will feel like they need to tell us that we're good. They need to tell us that, oh, I love you, and then we can calm down. And so it's very important that we understand that we are the center of the main person making these relationship calls with people and money. And so the real work is saying, do I believe I'm worthy of this? Do I believe I can sustain this? How much do I want to protect and value my joy and abundance in life versus allow suffering because I think I can handle it?
Right. And it's so important because I say so often that wealth starts with our mindset. Wealth starts with our relationship with money, how we talk about money, how we think about money. And I mean, you're saying the same thing as like if we're drawing in this particular type of person for them to tell us how to spend our money, we've got to start with our inner relationship first. And I love that. How do the emotional patterns, though, show up as financial leaks for entrepreneurs?
Basically, if women, let's just say, have a relationship that's not supporting them, they often can want to become the provider and fill in the gaps of what they think is missing in their relationship by overachieving, by being the breadwinner, by, I got this. And the truth is, women are not meant to be consistently in our masculine. And so the financial leaks can drain by default of us not understanding that we deserve to be filled up just as much from the most important people in our lives, especially from ourselves.
Yes. So what are some ways, though, that we're able to look at that and say, okay, we are the breadwinner and still know that we're worthy?
It's how much we speak to our inner child and how our self-talk is. Because a lot of people can make money, but if you look at the statistics, most people lose it. So where's that gap, right? You can make money, you can have an offer, you can get clients, you can pay it, but how come most people don't sustain it? So the ways that you believe that you're worthy is through your self-talk and the actions you take with your body. So if you're drinking a lot of alcohol, smoking pot, watching porn, eating unhealthy foods, kind of like doing it for the grind, loving the grind, enjoying the suffering without any value to what you're doing that all for, then your actions prove that you don't believe you're lovable. And so many people chase money as like a boom, if I just have enough, I'll be lovable, I'll have freedom, someone else will be proud of me. But how many millionaires commit suicide? An insane amount, actually, if you look at the statistics. So again, we don't want to focus on a milestone. We want to focus on the journey. And the way that you do that is through your actions that you take towards yourself, through how you eat, how you drink, how you speak to yourself, and what information you're literally digesting through what you're allowing to occur in your life.
See, I love this because I say that being wealthy is different than being rich. And I believe that in order to be truly wealthy, you have to be wealthy in 5 big areas of your life. And so I created the 5 wealth codes. And everybody who listens to my show knows I talk about this constantly. And I like the fact that you said that, because in some sense, you're saying the same thing, that in order for us to be able to hold the money, we've got to be wealthy inside ourselves. And I say the same thing. It's spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, and financial. And a lot of times we go after the financial first. And I just did a live over on TikTok, actually, that I was saying that if we go for the financial first, then we want to figure out why we can't hold it. And it's because we haven't worked on these other 4. We're not looking at us being worthy, because that means spiritually, emotionally, or mental, there's some type of profit leak. There's some type of leak going on, how we talk to ourselves, how we think about the money, and all of those things. And you're right. We have to be able to hold it and sustain it and still feel worthy. And there are statistics show that a lot of times the reason why they're not able to hold it, or they've got all this money, they're rich, but they're not wealthy because they're miserable. They're broke. Yeah. They're not happy. And to me, you can have all the money in the world, but if you're not living life aligned with your values and your goals, then you're not wealthy. And I love the fact that how you said that actually is very similar to what I've been saying. How does self-worth though impact pricing and partnerships and client selection? Because I believe that also in relationships is not just the person that we're, sharing a house with. It's also the relationships we have with clients and how we attract those clients. So how does that impact it?
I mean, there is a really big overlap, the private and the public life. I mean, if you have a suffering private life, it very much impacts your public life, because if you really believe that you don't deserve suffering and you don't have to be flexible and bend to somebody else's unhealthy behaviors, you also won't accept that in your clients and who you attract. So one is, I would actually look much more significantly on the impact of your private life. So many people chase the money, the fame, the speaking events, whatever they're doing, and they go home and they're either depressed or they're getting abused or they're trying to suffer or they're paying for people's shit that they don't need to. So one, I would really first focus on the private life, because that's the indication of how truly valuable you feel you are based on the actual life that you've created, that you come home to every day. And then in regards to the way that you price and have clients, I mean, you see it all the time. People who price themselves low, who let clients slip up, or who overgive. Like, oh, this session is 45 minutes, but I've been on for like an hour and a half. It's like, do you not understand that boundaries are beneficial to everyone? Everyone has to understand that boundaries create safety, and that a lack of boundaries create confusion, and confused people, A, don't know how to take the proper action, and B, they don't always have so much self-confidence because they're confused instead of clear. So when we develop self-worth, like, I choose to eat healthy, I choose to leave the relationship that's abusing me, I don't need a father and not to have a broken home, I need to remove the broken person in my home. And when we actually value things on a different set of value systems, not what society says, don't have a broken home, kids need a father, but you're like, no, actually, I need me, and my kids need to see me thriving versus me in an abusive relationship. When you just flip the value between I matter versus what everyone else says, it does show up in your work and in the clients you attract, and not only in the clients you attract in your pricing, but how well you're actually able to help them. Many coaches have a lot of clients and they're not nearly as effective as they could be because they're missing some of those core principles you spoke about in regards to emotional and spiritual wealth.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I 100% agree. I often say that there's a missing piece, and I believe that it's missing, but whether it's the spiritual wealth or mental, whatever, but there's something missing, and that's what's causing the lack in there. We see a lot of high achieving women and men, but I'm speaking mainly about the women, that struggle to say no, even when it costs them money. And why do so many of us do that?
I think we still have a craving for people to love us, want us, choose us, right? So American society and many other societies and all of American media and a lot of the movies and the culture that has been literally indoctrinated to you, which is your brain, which is essentially your memories and your type of education, has literally taught you to sit down, shut up, and be nice and be wanted by others, right? It's like when you go into an educational school system, sit down, shut up, raise your hand when you need a pee or poo. I will tell you when you can go pee or poo, motherfucker. Like, sorry, but like, they literally indoctrinate you to make your inner child feel small and like you need an authority figure to give you permission. And so it literally drips down into family systems as well as when you become adult. You're like, if you really want this person to choose you, you are afraid to say no because you don't value your own worth. And so it really comes down again to worth, self-love, how much you protect yourself with your inner talk and your actions, as well as your relationship choices. But the truth of the matter is saying no needs to be like an exciting thing for you to practice instead of a fearful thing.
Yeah. And honestly, I remind myself constantly, and I tell my clients, no is a complete sentence.
Yes.
I think as women, we feel like we have to put an explanation behind that. But if someone's not a good fit, you just say you're not a good fit. And if they say, but the answer's no, and leave it, no. And being able to not be mean about it, but still be firm and trusting your gut instinct on that. And I think that that's where a lot of times we have this issue. We are talking about it yesterday. We listen to so much noise.
Yes.
Instead of, like you're saying, we know what's good for us. We know. And if we would make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and loving ourselves, and we know and believe that we're worthy, then when we are making the money as an entrepreneur, we're going to be able to do it in a way that's not coming from a scarcity mindset, I think is what I'm thinking. Because so often when we don't have that belief, then like you said, it's gonna carry over into the clients. We're gonna take clients who don't appreciate us. We're gonna take clients who don't honor boundaries, right? We're gonna take clients who are going to basically, y'all, I'm just gonna say it, gonna be a pain in. I mean, it's just, I said it. and how many of us actually have had that, right? So I think it's really important, like what you're talking about, is that we have to be able to see our worth, know our worth, and practice on that mindset and have that so that we're not having these things carry over. One, we're working on our personal, but we're also working on the relationships we're having in our business. And what red flags in relationships normally will translate directly into business pain?
Control and dominance. So a lot of times women want to be the masculine and in control, and especially entrepreneurs. A lot of women entrepreneurs are high achievers, perfectionists, people who are seeking approval from others. People feel like they have to grind and suffer for some external reward to make themselves feel worthy of being good in this world or successful in this world, whatever that means to them in their own limited definition. But the true levels of success, like we were speaking about earlier, are how much do you love yourself? How much can you hold on to your worth? And a client who's a pain in your ass fucking worth no amount of money. Like, you can't pay me or anyone else, or shouldn't be able to pay me or anyone else $1 million to develop some disease by the time you're 50 or 60 years old because you suffered so much making your money. The body keeps score. So if you say yes to a client who's an asshole, and yeah, they pay you, first of all, it's never, ever enough for your body, your mind, your sleep, and your mental health to take that toll. That needs to have an invaluable price tag. And so in regards to the relationship red flags, women like to think, oh, I'm in control. I'm the leader. I'm dominant. I'm independent. But actually, most women who are entrepreneurs who are so independent in romantic relationships are very dependent. And they actually are very codependent. And they go, I'm not codependent. Like, I have my own company. But in relation to a man, the man actually has a lot of control and power over her emotions. She's like, if our relationship is okay, I'm okay. If he's pissed at me, I'm a little less okay. And so she actually has a direct correlation to her well-being in relation to how he is showing up for her. And the red flags that you see are through dominance and control in the man. So first it starts off with like gifts and over compliments. You're the most amazing woman I've ever met. This is like date number 1 or 2, right? We're not talking about 10 years in. Date number 1 or 2, you're the most wonderful woman I've ever met. I've never met anyone like you. You're so beautiful and smart. Wow, I've never had this connection before. Like, this is what the American society now calls love bombing. But in simple terms, it's like way too much too fast and over complimenting. And the woman who's like trying to make the money, trying to be good, trying to have her business work, trying to please her clients. It's like, oh, you love me? You think I'm great? Oh, finally, someone's giving me the approval I've been craving for so long. And that's when the trauma bond happens. And so it starts off with gifts and flowers and compliments, and I've never met anyone like you. And then slowly it disappears. And then there's breaks between affection and withdrawal, confusion. And then it leads to him being the dominant one. Because if you need him to tell you you're good, who has the power?
He does.
What kind of effing sick man wants that power? Every sick man. So we have to think about it like, not like I need him to want me so I can feel successful in my business, in my inner world, but I need to want me enough that if he doesn't want me, I've chosen myself already in my security to walk away so that my business doesn't take a hit because I'm drained through the confusion and erraticism of the ups and downs of a man who's trying to seek dominance through him gaining power from my insecurities.
I think that's really important. The biggest thing I got out of that was, we have to be able to say, we choose us, we choose ourselves, that we are worthy, we're most important, and we're choosing us and our business so that our mental health, our physical health, and our business doesn't suffer. And that doesn't mean we're bad people. It's just we're making sure, okay, we're choosing us. And I think that's really important because part of being wealthy is taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, physically. I mean, that's the reason why those are, and spiritually, those are the reasons why they're the first 4 wealth codes and then financial, right? And I have a question. And here's the thing. How can these high achieving women who are having these businesses, how can they start choosing partners, whether it's romantic or professional business partners or clients who and I guess I wouldn't say clients, but either way, who protect their wealth?
First, I want to say for all the single women who are truly looking for a healthy relationship, send me a DM at Epic Love Expert, because I literally have free documentation that I'm happy to share with you that shows you the signs of narcissism and addiction on date number 1. I spent 20 years cultivating very specific research that you can see all the behaviors that are subtle, unless you're educated, on date number 1. So you don't even have to fucking waste 6 months of your life or 6 years or 16 or 36, like many, many of my clients. So 1 is get the education. It's out there. I'm happy to provide it for you. And 2 is ask yourself, how do I feel? Take time away from him enough to get clear on your feelings. So many times when women meet a man and he's cute or rich or hot or whatever, and she's needy, she keeps the relationship going, or he keeps the relationship going so frequently with messages and texts and sex and dates and texts and calls that she actually doesn't have enough physical time to sit with herself and say, how do I really feel about this? It's so much being in a reactive state to the relationship that she doesn't have enough down, passive, silent state to meditate, to ask herself, how does she really feel? Is this really the man that she wants for her future or future children? So 1, I would say, get to know your feelings. Don't ask your mom, dad, therapist, rabbi, priest. Ask yourself first, between you and God alone, like, how do I feel? And have enough space during the dating process to keep making video journals, an actual journal with your hand and paper and writing, to get to see your true feelings, not the ones that you want to feel.
That's powerful, because I tell people all the time that in order to get honest with yourself about your money and your mindset, that you have to take time out to sit and get grounded with yourself, just you, and be honest with yourself. And that's basically the same thing, is you take the time away, get grounded, and then be, and whether it's journaling, whatever, but be honest with yourself. Because if you're not honest with yourself, I tell people all the time, you can lie to each other, you can lie to me, you can do whatever, but you got to be honest with yourself or it's not going to matter. And I love that, because that's what you're saying. You're like coming back and being honest. I think that's really important. You talk about raising frequency to increase the money flow, to raise the money flow. How does the emotional responsibility fix into that?
Has the what responsibility?
The emotional responsibility. How does the emotional responsibility fit into raising that frequency to raise money flow? Because, again, you've got to be able to raise that frequency, right, to be able to hold the additional money.
Yeah. It's a really great question. A lot of the times you have to say to yourself, am I making this decision from a place of fear or faith? Like, take time, get yourself straight into like your own SOP of 30 seconds before you make your decisions. Am I making this decision from a place of fear or from a place of faith? Like, I have full faith this will work out. And if it doesn't, I'll be okay. Or like, I'm so scared to lose this deal, I have to take it, right? So if you're in a place of fear and scarcity, like, I don't have enough, I'll never get this deal again. If I lose this client, then what? I really need this money. I hope I close. Like, you're already in a very low frequency. But if you're like, you know what, this client takes it or not, I'm going to be good. I'm wealthy no matter what, because I love myself and God loves me. You're in a very, very different frequency. So the difference is, allow people, things, and money to come in and out of your life without the feeling of, oh shit, is a great way to describe it. If a man comes in, if money comes in and he leaves, you're still good, because you've got you, because you and God's got you. And so raising your frequency means nothing can stop me from being lovable. Like, I have my own podcast, the 100% podcast. Like, you are 100% effed up and 100% lovable, meaning the F ups are going to come and go. People are going to do things you didn't wish to you, and unfortunately you to others, but you're still 100% lovable. You're still okay. And so if you can come from that state of nothing changes how lovable and deserving I am, then you approach your relationships, your clients, your deals in a very different manner.
Oh, I love that. Say it's similar. I normally don't say honestly, am I making this decision from scarcity or abundance? And being honest about it, because we want to say abundance, but I even like the fact of, when you first answer that, okay, go back and say the same thing and ask a different question, but the same thing. Am I making my decision, or am I doing this out of fear or faith? And here's the key, everybody. You still have to be honest with yourself. If Chaya is asking you that and you lie to her, okay, fine. If I'm asking that and you lie to me, okay, fine. But you have to be honest with yourself. Because again, if you're not honest with yourself, then it's not going to matter, right? Because so often we will sit there and go, oh yeah, I'm doing it out of faith. Really? Are you? The key is you have to be honest with yourself. Now, once you're honest with yourself, then you got a choice. And once you make the choice, that is your decision, yours alone. But you need to at least ask yourself those questions, because there's so often life is going to happen and there's no control over it. We don't have any say so over it. Okay. Life's going to happen. Things are going to come. Clients are going to go. And we have to be able to navigate that and still be honest with ourselves when we make the decisions. And I still ask myself these same questions, by the way. These are questions that we never stop asking. Just because we've done the work does not mean we do not ask those questions. I promise. I'm sure. See, Chaya's sitting there shaking her head. Yes. So I know she agrees with me. So it's really important to understand, because so often some people think, oh, I've done the work, I'll never have to do this again. Yeah. Okay. No. If you can't work out for 6 months and then never have to work out again, it's the same way. It doesn't work that way. If it did, I would be really, really happy. Okay. I promise. Because that means I wouldn't have to work out. But you have to be able to ask yourself these questions and then be honest. I just think that that's a big key, because so often people just think, oh, I'll just talk to myself and convince myself that this is the right answer. And that's not the way this works.
Yeah. One thing is, like, you have to be able to say, like Layla Hermosi says, like, I just want to get to my next fuck up faster. Like so many women who are perfectionists, we don't want to make a mistake. We don't want to do the wrong thing. We don't want to fuck up. We don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. We don't like, no, just get to your next fuck up faster. Like start taking more action, learn from your fuck ups like faster, be comfortable making mistakes. Because if you're afraid to make a mistake, you don't take enough action to actually learn the lessons you need to become the person that you want in your life and in your business. So don't be afraid of effing up. Just like own it and be like, yep, we're just going to get to the next one faster, because then it doesn't hold this weight on you of like, oh no, don't make a mistake. Don't lose that client. Don't say the wrong thing. It's like, no, let me just see what I say and which ones work and which ones don't. Do I push off a call or do I do it immediately? I don't know. Let's see which one works. And there's no right or wrong. It's just like you allow yourself the freedom to keep going without the fear of making a mistake, because you've already embraced that as like a very nice part and real part of the process. And then in regards to the lying, you won't know if you don't write it down or do a video journal. You won't. The way our brains work, and Joe Dispenza has so much powerful research on it, you literally just think the same shit you thought yesterday, the day before, like 97% or something like that. So if you are the one trying to see if you're lying to yourself or telling the truth, you can't just keep repeating your thoughts in your head and be like, I thought about it. No, you need to sit and meditate in silence and journal or do a video note so you can have a different form of expressing your thoughts to then hear back what you're saying and then resonate and see, is that true or not? I really love him. We have a great relationship. But then you video note, have you been feeling the past week? And you're like, oh, well, that person on that video looks like shit. She doesn't look in love. You have to have it outside of you. You can't just let it swirl in your head if you want the truth.
Yeah, true. Very true. One of the things I wanted to ask, because I think it's important for my listeners to hear this, and it not just be me saying it. Why does emotional clarity matter more as the income increases, as that revenue increases, as their income increases?
How would you define emotional clarity?
Well, emotional clarity, in my opinion, is them having clarity over their worth and who they are and being able to hold the money.
I think it's a big one. So emotional clarity, or like what you said, worth, there is a really big correlation to God in the sense that you believe that you're taken care of by something bigger and better than you. Not better, but just bigger, more powerful than you. And so in the 12-step program, which is one of the most healing programs all of the world, you know, they basically say like, you can't heal alone. You have to believe something's greater than you. So when you feel like you're worthy enough to hold your money, a lot of the times that means you have to not feel like you're always proving you're deserving of livability. That's not a word, but like that you're deserving of life. And sometimes when we feel like shit or like not worthy or scared, what do? We shop, we buy more shit. And we're like, I need a fucking another coach. I need how many coaches did you have? I had one person, then I had another coach. I need another one. I need to lose another. I need to buy this. And like this cycle that's almost unconscious of not having emotional clarity and worth, that like God loves me and I can value not spending to make myself feel alive because I'm so spiritually connected.
Right. Or we are spending it as fast as we get it in.
Right.
Yes.
But that's a spiritual problem.
Exactly. Yes. And it comes down, but it's also, you know, it's proven fact, y'all, that women are emotional spenders.
Yeah. And men, just so you know.
Well, I think all of us are, but I know for a fact women are.
Yeah.
You know, we spend when we're happy. We spend when we're upset. Because what? Oh, we do something to celebrate. Oh, I deserve this. I'm going to go buy this. You know, it's one of the things I tell my clients, say, look, you're not going to go buy something just because you say you deserve it as a celebration, because I don't want you to get into the habit of every time you have money coming in, that's the way you're celebrating, because then you're still going to be broke, right? And I don't like that B word. I say we're not going to say that B word because it comes from scarcity. However, I need them to also realize that there's other ways to celebrate. I dance, right? I have a song that I play and I dance. It's a happy song, and that's my way of celebrating. Now, do I go and spend every now and then? Yes, but I do it more strategically than not thinking about it, not, you know, just doing it to do it. And it's the same thing, like you said, that having that clarity of, why am I spending this? Why am I doing this? Right? Because I think a lot of times we get scared, or we subconsciously will feel that we don't deserve to be making more money. So our way of fixing that is, okay, well, as fast as it comes in, I'm just going to make it disappear. And then we beat ourselves up because we don't have the money. And it carries over into our relationships and our worthiness, and how it all evolves around, right? And I think that that's why I was asking is, with that emotional clarity of just how important it is, especially as more revenue comes in, because I can see how it can outfold into all the areas, especially with a relationship. And we want to make sure that we have that clarity of who we're around, right? Who we want to be with, and the behaviors, so that we don't end up with someone that's not a good fit for us, or has these, bad, I don't want to say bad quality, but bad qualities.
I think a great way to ask yourself this, for the women listening, is ask yourself, am I waiting? Or am I good now? Women, like my clients, single women who are looking for the next relationship to be the relationship, they're waiting for that guy to just show up and love them and choose them. They're almost inadvertently saying, I'm not freaking great right now. Like, I'm in a state of lack. I'm in a state of like loving and like lack of love. And so literally the most unhealthy type of men will show up. And if you're waiting for your money to come through because you're like, I want that blow dryer. I want that car. I want the house. I want the whatever. And you're in a state of wait. Like, as soon as that money comes in, like, oh, finally can get that. I finally can go to the Bahamas like I always wanted to. If you're in a state of like wait, and like you're just like waiting for the man to show up, waiting for the money to come in, waiting so that you can get that thing that's on your mind, you're already anxious. Like, you're already not calm in the surrender and flow of life, which means you're already 100% good. Like, you're already 100% lovable. And so it's something that I have to work on all the time, because like sometimes I'm like, okay, the money's coming in. Now I can go on Amazon and get the shit I wanted. It's like, no, Chaya. Like, if you survived all of this time without that shit that you want on Amazon, like, you'll still be okay. And you can decide if you want to buy it or not. That's not the point, if you buy it or not. The point is how you show up in your decisions of purchasing. And so if I'm going to be like, oh, I can't wait till the money comes in, I'm going to go on Amazon, I'm going to buy those 10 things that are in my cart, and boom, yeah, then you really are a freaking addict, because an addict goes low, low, high. I'm waiting, boom, got my high. Oh shit, it's done. Now I got to make more. And we don't want to be addicts. We want to be in a state of calm, and like more of like a calm up and down flow, not a peak. I got the money. Oh shit, I spent the money, got a peak, got to do it. You want to really connect with yourself and God in a way of like, you can or cannot purchase this, but you're still so lovable, good, at peace, and will still gain and get everything you want at the right time.
Absolutely. I love that. Chaya, this has been such a powerful conversation, especially for the women who are knowing something's feeling off, but they can't quite name it, especially yet. And I think that this episode will help everyone. Where can listeners connect with you and access your Epic Love Masterclass?
Send me a DM at Epic Love Expert on Instagram, Facebook. And I have a free gift for you. You can go to www.marriedin2025.com, which soon we're going to change and upgrade. But if you go to marriedin2025.com and you put in your information, you will get, first of all, a really free, powerful download on the signs of healthy and unhealthy behavior in men during dating, and the most common mistakes wealthy women make while they date. So go to that link, put in your name, let's connect, and get you on a state of not only how to make money, which you can go to Lisa for, but how do you actually have the love and the relationships in your life so that you can hold on to your money and not accidentally spend it or waste it or lose it being drained with the wrong partner.
I love that. And we will have the link in the show notes, so make sure you go there to find it. And of course, for my ladies listening, if you're realizing that the emotional patterns are showing up as money patterns, then I want us to meet so that we can look deeper, because it's time to look deeper. So you can book a wealth alignment call with me so that we can identify where the emotional leaks are becoming profit leaks and realign your money, your boundaries, and your leadership. And until next time, remember, as I always say, confidence and cash are the ultimate power duo. Go check in with your money, and as always, have a fantastic and wealthy day.